Well, we have come to the final part of episode 1, part 4 of B.O.A.T Talks on Sophia Sojourn with Pastor John Featherston, pastor of Serenity Church and author of Never Alone Again. Today, John gets to ask me anything he wants to. This was a scary moment. Let's go. Well, welcome back for part 4 and the final part of episode 1 of B.O.A.T Talks on Sophia Sojourn with my guest, John Featherston. I am Laura Beth, and today he gets to turn the tables.
There you go.
In the conversation. And I have given him license to ask me anything. And generally speaking, for my guests, I will save your questions. And so they will not be able to ask me the same questions.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so being the first one,
yeah,
you have no restrictions.
Oh, come on.
Whatsoever.
There you go.
And I know you well enough to know that could be
dangerous.
Yeah, there you go. So
there you go. There we go.
Take it away.
You know, you were talking about your expectations, lack of expectations, or upended expectations when you came into Serenity Church. Mm-hmm. When you walk in, now that you have embraced your identity, mm-hmm. and walk in as a transgendered woman into fellowships of believers, mm-hmm. what kind of response do you get, and how do you respond, and what could be done to help that response be more productive?
Okay. Coming to Serenity.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's I come there to be reminded of who I am.
Yeah.
And that I am a child, a daughter
yeah.
of Christ, a sister of Christ, a daughter of God, and that I have value in that capacity, that I have value in the voice that I can bring to the church. My response to anyone that I come across, and I visit churches a lot.
Sure.
It's almost a hobby.
What is the response that you feel when you walk in?
It varies. Most people. I think most people are reserving judgment. They're reserving thought.
Okay.
They're keeping their poker faces on.
Okay.
And understandably.
Sure.
I am more often than not the very first transgender person anyone has met, mm-hmm. in the flesh, and so,
particularly in the church.
In particular in the church.
Yeah.
And when I speak the church language, it tends to throw them off as well.
Now, wait a minute, those aren't supposed to connect.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. So, but my attitude is that everyone is entitled to their journey.
Yeah.
And when I meet somebody, it's not just about me inserting my journey into their lives. It's me inserting myself into their journey. Yeah. And that has to, I have to take into account what their journey is.
Yeah.
For all I know, they have a cousin that was transgendered and hurt their family.
Sure.
Immensely. They might have had a son that came out as gay.
Yeah.
And turned his back on Christ, or turned his back on the church, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hurts and pains and struggle that they are, any more than they know mine. And so for me to expect them to just give me a carte blanche pass isn't necessarily realistic.
Yeah.
Give the grace that I expect to receive.
When you came, you were the first transgendered member of Serenity Church. Mm-hmm. And like you said, probably the first, obviously, openly transgendered person folks had gone to church with.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it wasn't that nobody noticed.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
compared to a unicorn.
Yeah.
It wasn't something you always wanted to see, but now that you were seeing it, you didn't quite know.
Well, how about that?
Do I
know.
touch it? Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. Obviously, if there is any ripples of responses to things at large in the church, I hear them first.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you came, everybody went, well, look at that. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that interesting? And I'd like to know her.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of, I'd really like to have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
And then about 2 weeks of the and then it was just Laura Beth coming to church.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
There was probably about 2 weeks of, well, how about that?
Yeah.
You know, and a little intrigue, like, I'd like to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't get was, well, that's disgusting, or she doesn't belong, or what are we going to do about her?
Yes.
Or there was
yeah.
none of that.
Yeah.
There was none of that.
Yeah. And I've, the church worked with me, and someone in the church sponsored me on the Emmaus Walk.
Yeah. Recently,
and I think there were some in that community that kind of thought, well, we'll send her/him on the walk, and they'll be met by Jesus, and the gender issue will be fixed. And everything. And we talked.
So
about
how did that work for you?
Yeah, there were a lot of things that got fixed.
Oh yeah,
on that walk.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit last time about brokenness, and what inspired me the most, I think, at Serenity is that they absolutely saw me as broken, but it wasn't my gender.
No,
that was broken. It was so many other things.
Yeah.
In my life, and as those things have healed,
there's, like I said, we so understand that all of us come in with a different bucket of broken.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're not going to know all of everybody's stuff, but we're going to know a lot of it, and we're going to try to help you with that, whatever it is that's broken. It's real interesting about your Emmaus Walk. That was a wonderful experience, I think, for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a wonderful experience for the local Emmaus community. I have one of my dearest friends in life was the clergy in charge of your walk.
Yes.
He and I are very, very close friends for many, many years.
Yeah.
And so when they got your application and began to get you signed up, he just laughed and he said, "This is great."
Mm.
He said, "It is time for this fellowship of Christians to stretch and spread their wings some more." And he said, his next quote, "Leave it to Serenity Church to send it to us."
It is kind of our specialty. Yeah.
Yeah, to send us a new challenge, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful learning time.
It was.
It was a
for
wonderful learning time, I think, for that community and on your walk. Look, we really like this person, and she's got a great faith walk, and I'd like to be her friend, you know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like you said, so many Christians, and particularly church people, have not had intimate face-to-face connection with a transgendered person.
Yeah, or anyone in the LGBT
Exactly.
community. Yeah.
Or that they know of.
Right.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things when we first started talking about the walk, Aunt Lori, who was my sponsor, I said, I want to be upfront about these things. It's a once in a lifetime experience, and I didn't want to distract from anyone's experience there. And this is not the first time she and I had this conversation about me being involved in things. And she made the comment, she's like, "Would you just stop and think for a moment that you might actually be part of someone's experience?"
A real changing moment for them.
Yeah, and it was a moment for me when she said that to step back and stop apologizing.
Yeah.
For being who I am.
Yeah.
But celebrating.
Yeah.
With God's people.
Absolutely.
Who God has made me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of time.
Yes.
And
yeah, we are.
I'm in charge of this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm John with my guest Laura Beth. And we thank you for sharing these 4 journeys with us over the last 4 weeks.
Yes, it's been great.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's got lined up next.
Yes.
I mean, it's all got to be downhill from here, right?
Well, we set the bar very, very high.
From the start.
We really did.
All right.
Yeah. Very good. And one last reminder, John's book, Never Alone Again. Find it on Amazon, download it to your device of choice. And thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for inviting me. Enjoyed it.
Working through my learning curve with me.
There you go.
This is going to be exciting.
You bet.
Well, that wraps up episode 1 of B.O.A.T Talks on Sophia Sojourn with Pastor John Featherston from Serenity Church. I hope you've enjoyed him as much as I always do. Don't forget to check out his book, Never Alone Again. You can find it on Amazon. You can download it to your Kindle, or you can actually order a hard copy that you flip through the pages and turn down corners and highlight stuff and everything. It's amazing. Don't also forget to keep looking for my book coming out soon, Shattering Masks. Keep track of our blog, sophiasojourn.com. You can click the link below. That's why I'm pointing down to the dock. And we'll keep you posted when that is coming out. Don't forget to tune back next week. We're going to launch a brand new episode 2, 4 new parts, brand new guest. Very excited. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week.